So in our last moment together, you were talking about narcissism.
Yes.
So tell me what you wanted to.
So narcissism, right? If you look at addiction, if you look at anxiety, if you look at even schizophrenia, these are mental illnesses that are rooted in a narcissistic injury. So the narcissistic injury is that time in life where we decided the only way to survive is to comply. It's that time in life where something happened that told me I'm not enough. I got to be someone else. So I developed an alter persona that I think my auntie would like. So the narcissistic injury is how we survive childhood, and they believe alcoholism. That's the battleground where alcoholism is fought, is who I really am, who I want you to think I am, and who I think you think I am. That triangle, that's like a Bermuda Triangle where alcoholics get lost. Like literally, we kill ourselves trying to satisfy these three different entities. But that's the battlefield where alcoholism is fought. So when we get sober, this false self doesn't go away. So I just wanted to see what are your thoughts on that?
So to your point about narcissism behavior and when that might have started for me is, I think early childhood, I wanted the attention of my mother, who I felt like I had to earn that. So there was not a lot of I love yous in our house. It was my mom was a very, very progressive woman. So she was ahead of her time, opening her own business and having an entrepreneurship in those days. So, but I struggled with the need of, the need to be seen, the need to be appreciated, the need for more love and attention. And in those things, I did not get that. So I was searching. So I began at that age to look for attention, to please my mother, to show her that I was good enough. And so that is the first, especially when I first got sober, that's the first thing that I really worked on, doing the 12 steps. But as my journey unfolded, I had many more trauma experiences. And one of them was the death of my husband, which was by suicide. And I do know that his condition was, he was, an addict himself. Mm-hmm. So I know in my intelligent mind, I know what an addict is thinking, and I know how desperate we can become. But in my emotional mind, I was left and abandoned from a relationship that I had from a very young age. So that scar of narcissism just grew from childhood to adulthood. And I found myself at an age and time in life where, now I was responsible to raise 2 children. I myself had to get sober. And I think that I have just dealt with the tendencies to try to, I had the survival mechanism, but I had to change. So I had the fear of all of those things. So I think I just feel like I struggle with, of course, trying to comply at the same time as trying to heal, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's quite a challenge to be compliant and at the same time trying to heal.
And transform and do what I needed to do in the position that I was in, which was take accountability and responsibility for my family and, to live on life's terms in a very tough situation.
So what happened for me quickly is, I was homeless, motherless, fatherless by age 4. So I always in other people's homes, I learned how to get along with everybody. I have tons of friends. Not today, but I used to have lots of people around me. And what I learned, I went from that motherless, fatherless kid to I became a nerd in school. Then I became a criminal, drug addict. Then I became a janitor. I became an actor/model. Then I became a drug counselor, which is where I am now. Actually, no, I'm a writer. So did all those things, and they were all false versions of who I really am. I'm not no criminal. I'm not a model. I'm not an actor. I'm not a janitor either. So I want to ask you in recovery, because I played false roles in recovery. Now I'm in a power position where this is me. I'm living authentic finally after years of recovery. So I want to ask you, did you also have false personas follow you into recovery?
Well, I would say yes, of course. The false persona was to be perfect. I had perfectionism. So I wanted to be perfect. So whether that was external or internal or how I presented in front of people or how I was, I think I carried so much shame from the trauma and the experience that I had to prove to everybody that I was worthy and I was good enough to be the mother that I needed to be, that I am not of my choices, and that I can heal and I can, become, a good member of Alcoholics Anonymous and be that, that we talk about it, be that, sober woman that can be respected. So sure, I had variances of that. And do I define myself as my work at times? Yes, I could say that. Workaholic. I was a workaholic for many years because I found value in myself there. And I found value in, how good my child has done, my daughter, for instance. But today I'm far more in my authentic self because I'm doing and creating where I want to be, but I'm also not putting the emphasis on, actually in what I can say is I closed my store in December, which is a huge part of my persona to redirect myself, which is a huge amount of surrender. So I can say that I'm starting to live and walk an authentic path and discover that.
Along that trend of thought, I was told just because you're being authentic doesn't mean people will like you. As a matter of fact, I've lost more friends as I decided over the last 9 years to live an authentic existence. So what has it been for you in terms of your evolution to where you could live this authentic life? Have you seen differences in how people treat you?
Sure, I feel like, first of all, people think I'm crazy because I'm making this move and without a plan, so to speak, and a surrender of without a plan, at my age and space and time. I feel like people will come, who's meant to be on the journey will be on the journey. Who is not meant to will fall off. But I also felt stuck where I was. I felt stuck in a situation where it had served me for as long as it could. I was growing out of the space that I was in, and I wanted to create something different, and I wanted to show up in the world differently. So I needed to challenge myself in those things. So with that being said, it's a matter of finding the next level of authenticity in what I do.
There's a great book, what you just said. It's called What Got You Here Won't Get You There. True. And sometimes that's a difficult transition. Coming up next, we're going to touch on where you are now, living presently as an authentic being as you transition from retail outlet to more of a coaching mindset for fashion and being a parent of a special needs kid.
Perfect.